All right, so you think you've got what it takes to join the galaxy's most elite hunting club? Well, you can just go ahead and toss that resume out the window, because in the brutal, competitive world of the Yaoja, your application, it's written in the blood of your prey. So let's dive into this little survival guide and see which type of hunter you are cut out to be.
Your life doesn't start with a warm welcome. Nope. It starts by being squeezed out onto a cold metal floor. You're basically this wrinkly alien potato with mandibles. Your mother gives you maybe 3 seconds of attention before she wanders off to go polish her skull collection. This isn't a bug in the system, people. This is the entire operating system.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the life of a classic hunter. That's kind of our baseline for brutality. Then we'll get into the super predator's less than honorable playbook. We'll explore the feral predator's primal instincts, and we'll unpack the ultimate predator's engineered arrogance. And finally, we're going to ask the big question: what does it really mean to be at the top of the food chain?
Okay, first up, the original, the OG. To really understand all the wild variations, you gotta know the foundation. This is the life of a classic honor-bound Yacha hunter. And spoiler alert, it is not glamorous. At all.
It all starts with you as a suckling, which is just a screaming meat sack. Then you graduate to youngling, where the training is basically legalized child abuse with extra steps. As an unblooded teenager, you're just cannon fodder, really. If you somehow survive your first big hunt, you finally become blooded. And guess what your prize is? You're just not dead yet. And hey, if you make it all the way to elder, sure, you're respected, but every ambitious young hunter is looking at you like you're their next big trophy. And I want you to think about how absolutely lethal their coming-of-age ceremony is. The data shows that only 1 in 3 youngbloods actually survives their first hunt against xenomorphs. To put that into perspective for you, those are worse odds than playing Russian roulette with 2 bullets in the chamber. So, how do you earn your spot? Well, first, they drop you on some hostile planet with gear that looks like it came from a Yautja garage sale. Second, you've got to kill one of the universe's most perfect killing machines. No big deal, right? After that, you get to do the galaxy's most dangerous arts and crafts project, branding your own forehead with its acid blood. And if you're still standing, you gotta fight your way through a nightmare Congo line of its very, very angry relatives. And you think you can relax after all that? Nope. Welcome to mating season. See, female Yacha are bigger, stronger, and they will only notice you if your trophy collection is seriously impressive. It's basically Tinder, but instead of gym selfies, you're showing off a collection of skinned corpses. If a female finds you worthy, awesome. If not, she might literally just throw you off a cliff. But hey, not all Yacha follow the old ways. So let's look at our first major deviation, the super predators. This is a subspecies that thinks honor is just a fancy word for losing. The real difference here, it's all about philosophy. While the classic hunter lives by this strict code, the super predator thinks that code is, well, quaint. A classic hunter travels the galaxy looking for worthy opponents. The super predator, it just kidnaps the most dangerous things it can find and dumps them on a personal game preserve. Talk about a home field advantage. And their tech really reflects this mindset. They've got a Gatling-style plasma caster, a longer wrist blade that can actually be fired as a projectile, and these mechanical Falcon drones for surveillance. They even bring their own backup, genetically engineered tracking beasts called hellhounds. Yeah, this isn't a fair fight. It's a meticulously planned execution. All right, now for a hunter that strips everything back to its brutal essence. Let's talk about the feral predator. This is a creature born from a much harsher environment, a more primal and physically adapted kind of warrior. This subspecies is biologically just different. Its dreadlocks are thinner, probably to shed heat. Its eyes are wider, perfect for scanning those vast, empty landscapes. And its molars, well, they are not just for show. This predator literally eats the bones of its prey. It's a trait that really sets it apart from its jungle-dwelling cousins. But for all its physical power, the feral predator's story is really a lesson in humility. See, it wasn't beaten by a bigger, stronger enemy. It was defeated by a smaller, seemingly weaker prey who did something the predator never, ever expected. She paid attention. Here's exactly how it went down. The Comanche warrior Naru steals its mask, which happens to contain the targeting laser. Then she lures it into a quicksand bog. As it's sinking, it takes aim with its bolt gun, but the laser on that stolen mask, it's pointing right back at its own head. The bolt follows the laser, punching straight through its skull. A truly humiliating end, all thanks to its own tech. Okay, so we've gone from primal instinct, and now we're going to jump to manufactured superiority. This is what happens when Yautja stop relying on evolution and start playing God with their own DNA. Everybody meet the ultimate predator. First, can we just appreciate this scale here? 11 feet tall. This thing wasn't so much born as it was assembled in a lab. It's a towering monster designed to be the clan's ultimate weapon. It makes a regular Yautja look like a toddler at a basketball game. And the upgrades are just extensive. Its skin is organic armor. Its vision modes are built right into its eyes, so no mask needed. It's got a healing factor, wrist blades that fire like projectiles, and a genetic cocktail made from the deadliest species in the entire cosmos. Plus, a little dash of Earth cockroach DNA, for durability. So why send this walking tank to Earth? The mission was actually pretty simple. Hunt down a rogue Yautja who had stolen some tech. A rogue who was planning to give it to humans. The council could not allow that to happen, so they sent their biggest, baddest creation to clean up the mess and make sure humanity never got a fighting chance. Okay, so we've met the whole deadly family, from the honor-bound traditionalist all the way to the genetically engineered nightmare. But when you line them all up like this, a really fascinating and fatal pattern starts to emerge. Just take a look at this. We've got different origins, different traits, wildly different tech. But look at that last row. See that? It doesn't matter if they value honor or dominance or some primal instinct or even engineered superiority. They all share the same exact disease. Call it hubris, call it arrogance, overconfidence. It is a fatal flaw that's literally woven into their DNA, no matter how that DNA got put together. So, after all the advanced tech, all the brutal training, and all the genetic tampering, what's the one single thread that ties all of these supposed apex hunters together? It's this, right here. Every single one of them was brought down by the very prey they considered beneath them. Their greatest strength, their absolute, unshakable belief in their own superiority, was also their greatest weakness. And the proof is right there in their defeats. The classic hunter, he fell to a military team that just refused to give up. The super predator, taken down by a man who literally set himself on fire as a tactic. The feral, outsmarted by a warrior who used its own tools against it. And the ultimate genetic masterpiece, beaten by a team of military misfits and one very, very motivated father. Which leaves us with one final thought. The Yautja hunt to prove that they're the best, but time and time again, it's the underestimated, resourceful, and just plain stubborn humans who adapt and overcome. So, does that make humanity the real apex predator in this whole cosmic food chain? It's something to think about.